All right, just here with your Honda Pioneer. We're going to go through this list as quick as I can. I'll try to abbreviate it. So first off, right off the bat, just have to ask the question, where is the lift assist arm for the box? As you can see for sure that that's not it. It bolts on right there, but it's missing. We're going to start here on the bottom, or on the top, and we're going to work our way up. So no particular order. I want you to go down and I want you to see that is the seal that is leaking there. You can see the front of the prop shaft down there where that's wet. I would say that seal is leaking as well. Go over here to this side and go down here, and you can see that your cylinder head cover gasket's leaking. Go over here to the other side, and now this one's a little bit iffier. Possible that this is from oil being spilled here or something, but I'm just wondering if the O-ring's not leaking for your starter, which is right there, and it slides into that case. So that's always possible that that's leaking there as well. Then of course we have the seal at the front pinion shaft. We have the seal that you see in the center of the seal, and I'll move the camera around a little bit. You see the spring sort of sticking in there. If I were to stick my hand in the way so you couldn't see it, I can wiggle that spring around. So that seal there should be replaced as well. And we'd already talked about the torn bolt on that axle. I'm going to go over to here. That's the damage to the disc. That is the right rear, so that disc needs to be replaced. I have to measure the thickness on this disc, but this is wore. So on this one, this outer edge is quite a bit thicker than in here where the caliper's been stuck. And a lot of that is due to the mud buildup and stuff that's down underneath the brake pads. It's way down in there. It's kind of hard to see in the camera, but it just makes it so everything can't move the way it's supposed to. I would also want to check the sliders on those just to see if the sliders are rusted or corroded or stuck or anything like that as well. Same applies over here. And you can see that pad that is worn to metal. So the one on my thumb side has no pad material left. That's the one that's damaged that brake disc. I'm getting out of breath because I'm getting old and fat. So, let's see what's next on top. Regular stuff. Engine oil needs to be changed. It's not horrible, but it's due for a change for sure. One thing I did skip through over when we were here. You check your sub-transmission fluid. On this one, you take it out and you wipe it off, and then you just set it back into the hole. And you can see that we're down below the low line, which is that line on the bottom. So we're just barely touching the bottom of the dipstick. So for sure you've been leaking that fluid for a while. And it's actually odd that you haven't had problems with it shifting or anything like that because of that. I'll come back and screw that in later. Next thing, air filter. If it's never been done, it's more than due. Same applies for the spark plugs. And we go up here, coolant bottle. Oh, sorry, wrong side, thinking Polaris. Coolant bottle, you can see the fluid is down at the bottom of the overflow, or the expansion bottle. So I'll top that up. Radiator is full, but you're also due for a coolant change by time. I think it's every 2 to 3 years with these, but I'll double check that to be sure. Next, so now we're going to raise it up. We'll go as fast as the lift will go. Put it up a bit and turn the key on. And I'm going to turn the lights on to high beam. Go to the front of the bike. You can see that one. Try not to blind you. You can see this guy over here is really, really dim. So we either get a bad connection or we've got internal issue with the little mini light bar. So you can see real bright and I can actually hold the camera right on that. So that guy needs to be addressed. All the other lights work fine except for the LED light bar, but all the stock lights work. The light bar is not working. At least it's not working with that switch. There's no power to it. I never checked to see if anything was disconnected or anything like that, or any fuses were blown. I just am going through the check. Next. So we probably go up a little bit higher. Of course, I left my remote inside the door. Trying to be animated here to keep you entertained. So I've gone through all the seal leaks with you. You've seen all them. The door doesn't want to stay shut. Up here in the front end. So I'm going to zoom back a little bit because I don't know if it wants to. No, it doesn't want to. That's okay. This is the stuff that is scary for me. So when I can grab a hold of the front of the bike and do all this jiggly, bushings and sleeves for sure. Seals, because those are the little caps have seals on the ends of them. Possibly a control arm if things are wore really bad. But so what I mean by that is if you actually wore past the sleeve material inside and you've wore down into the control arm, then the control arm would have to, or the upper control arm would have to be replaced. You have the same issue on this side, just as scary. That's lift kits and big tires. After a while, anyway. It's just hard on the bushings and all that stuff. Let's see what else. Kind of hard to see this one in here, but there's your leakage at your on the side of the case. Anyway, you can see where it's been leaking onto the front of the prop shaft, which is back there. That's the oil leak at the front differential. I checked the fluid in it. It's pretty black. You get a little zip tie here that's dry and clean, and we stick it in the hole. So first of all, the float is supposed to be up to the bottom of that hole, and it's nowhere near the bottom of that hole. So that's never good either. We can get in there and get enough of it just to show you what it looks like. Not that it really matters, you can take my word for it. Nice and black. So that stuff needs to be changed along with that seal. Let's see if I can zoom you back up to where you're supposed to be. There we go. What else? Front brake pads, they're wore out, especially on that side. This one pad's wore a lot. This one's not wore so much, so that tells me the calipers are sticking. Likely have the same issue over there. The discs are okay in the front. We can still work along with those. I think that right caliper, we actually had replaced that at one point a few years ago or a couple years ago. So that's probably still that same set of pads. Upper ball joint on this side, 100% needs to be replaced. I'm not even going to try and show you how the movement in that, but this one here is just starting to have play in it. It doesn't make any sense to only to replace that one and come back a month later and replace this guy. So you might as well do them both at the same time. Wheel bearings in the front need to be replaced on both sides. What else? Let's see if I've remembered enough stuff here off my list. I haven't load tested the battery. I haven't run the bike up to operating temperature to make sure the cooling fan's working okay. The radiator doesn't look bad. I don't see a lot of mud or anything like that in it, so somebody's keeping it fairly cleaned out, so that's a good thing. Give me 1 second. I mentioned the air filter, oil filters, diff, control arm, ball joint, wheel bearings, spark plugs, transmission fluid. Flipping to the other side. Of course, you know your winch doesn't work because there's no winch. I think that's it. For as far as the check that I do for my side-by-side service and check over, that's what I found. I'll do an estimate up as best I can for you. The hard ones for me to be able to give you a good price on, or not a good price, but an accurate price, is going to be that seal that's leaking. You know, can't even barely see in there. That one up in there, which you sort of can't even see in the dark. So the access to that is very, very restricted. For sure, the exhaust has got to come off. I'm hoping that I can get at it from this end. Don't want to get into things like having to pull the sub-transmission out of it or anything like that, because that would be a really big job. So anyway, I'll do as best I can for you for figuring out what kind of a price it is, but that one I may have to leave a little bit of a question mark on it as far as how long it's going to take me to do it. If I have to pull the exhaust off, then we're looking at new exhaust gaskets and things like that too. So just wanted to make sure that you know that. All right, so if you have any questions, please let me know. Hopefully I haven't bounced around so much that I've made you dizzy, and I'll be in touch. Very likely it'll be next week with a price list of the parts and pieces and time. Have a great day.